You still have the kind of the small remnants of free agency in the NFL. You had the World Baseball Classic. By the way, I've never seen so much energy in Miami. And then the gift that keeps on giving. The Philadelphia Eagles. Hit the like button. By the way, unless it's a super chat, we will not be distracted in any way in this open. Oh, and by the way, at 3:30, Angelo Cataldi will have a retort with all of those idiots in Philadelphia that he told you he didn't really like the state of the union when it came to WIP and how it's run and how it sounds. And they took shots at him, both 97.5. By the way, 97.5, I don't even know why you're in it. Nobody even knows who you are anymore. You got Bill Cunnilingus on and then a whole bunch of nobodies. And then you have WIP, which is fueled by the Phillies and the Eagles. It is not the home of John Ritchie and some of those dudes. It's the home of the Eagles and the Phillies and the Eagle fans. So we will go down that lane, hit the like button, and without a doubt, we started off with the Dallas Goedert news. Folks, the Eagles had to do this, or it'd be $20 million large against the cap. Did they really want the player back? I guess. Is it an A move? No. They brought him back because there was 20 million reasons why they brought him back. They brought him back because of money. Nothing else. Nothing else. Has he been a good player? Absolutely. There was no market for the guy. It was one of the weirdest things, and make no mistake about it, Dallas Goedert had to be brought back because of money. No other reason. There is no other reason why he was brought back. $7 million cheap and $20 million not going to your cap. You really had no other choice. You had no other choice but to bring that guy back, or you would have 20 million large dead cap money on your cap. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You had 20 million. I'm bringing back a damn tight end. That was the highlight of the week. Okay? Hurts' security blanket? Okay. But it's also 20 million reasons, dude. $20 million. Hey, listen, I would bring that back and bring him back just because of the 20 million, whether he was good or not. And by the way, 1,000% A.J. Brown will be traded and will not be on this football team September 1st. Not happening. Bye. They are doing everything in their power to move the player. Everything. Bye-bye, A.J. And as I've been saying since day one, it's the Patriots. And I will still hang on that. Since I told all my friends Goedert was gone now, I look like an idiot. Well, hey, Bruce, they had to bring him back. $20 million. It was more important for the Eagles to bring him back than to have a $20 million hit. You don't look like an idiot, my friend. No way. Hey, by the way, you got the same tight end group? Let's see something. And by the way, Bruce, let's take a look at that for a second, shall we? All right. So let's go over here. And let's go to the Eagles. Let's see here. So we go over to the Philadelphia Eagles, and let's take a look at this. So, 60 What else? And 9. Anywhere else? So you had 69 catches from the entire tight end group of a year ago with Calcaterra and with Goedert. That's not going to improve. That's who those dudes are. You didn't improve your tight end room. And as a matter of fact, at the end of the day, okay, you got a guy that's coming back that's not a very good tight end when it comes to blocking. Hey, look, they got him back at $7 million. There was no market for him. Okay. Absolutely. So now we'll get to your comments. By the way, Super Chats go to the top. And we'll say again, there were 20 million reasons why they had to bring him back. And that is because there was too much dead cap money. Now, let's go to Twiz. The scheme is supposed to be different. Doesn't the West Coast scheme use the tight end more? Yeah, but you have to have a quarterback to use the tight end. Eagles will be pressured to trade AJ for a 3 and a 5. 2 and a 3. His asking price is too high. Still, should they draft Sadiq, the best tight end on the board? No. I don't think much of the guy. Do I see Tyler Warren? Or do I see Brock Bowers? Or do I see the Colston kid in Michigan? I don't see that. He may shock the world out of people, but I didn't see a very productive player in Oregon. That football team was more driven by the run game. Goedert might end up being the best Eagle tight end of all time if he has a good season. So you think he's better than Zach Ertz? Do you? I think Zach Ertz is a little better player. I think Goddard's more complete. And I don't think he's better than Keith Jackson. Don't you think bringing Goedert back is a good move by Howie for the cap? Yes. Because now it gives them the ability to trade A.J. Brown. Florio reported today the Rams saw AJ's medical and said, I'm out. I highly doubt that's true. I'm not saying that Florio. So wait a minute. Let me get this right. Florio was told by the Rams that A.J. Brown's medical's bad? Really? So the Rams told him that. Well, if I was A.J.'s representatives, I'd make sure I contacted the NFL Players Association, and I'd make sure that the Rams giving out HIPAA laws about my medicals, I'd like to know if Mike Florio did talk to somebody in the Rams organization, because that's a violation of the collective bargaining agreement, sharing medical advice or medical information on another player in the league and then giving it to the media. That'd be like sharing your income taxes or something like that when you file your income taxes. Those are private informations. So, I mean, I'd like to really know if Florio really did talk to Les Snead or Kevin Demoff. Oh, no, I don't believe it. I think Florio's making bullshit up. Oh, right. So the Rams told a reporter that A.J. Brown's medical, a member of the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's sharing information about the medical? And by the way, do you really believe that it got that far, that the Eagles would send a player's medical to the Rams? Because if that's the case, that thing was inches away from happening. And I don't believe it was. Not with the Rams. Not with the Rams. Okay? That I don't. Byers was more of a early version of Alvin Kamara. Could run the ball, catch the football. He was kind of like Alvin Kamara. Yeah, I'm with you. Fake news, dude. Okay? Keith Myers. Correct. Loved him. Been on this program 2 or 3 times. Let's see here. Sales Max, Claire, or Michael Trigg should be targets in round 2 to replace Goedert. Calcaterra gets cut after the preseason. Calcaterra, I mean, I think he's a dude. It's crazy how so many people don't know what HIPAA laws are. Yeah, you can't share medical information. Adam Schefter got sued for $4 million by Jason Pierre-Paul because a guy at a hospital gave him medicals on his hand that got blown off with a firecracker incident. And he posted it on the internet, and ESPN had to pay $4 million for disclosing injuries and pictures of an injury because it hurt its market value. Okay? I know how it works with the Players Association, dude. No, you. Yeah, so wait. Hey, Sig, Adam Schefter and ESPN got fined for just exactly almost what you said. So here, get this. How do you know what's in the collective bargaining agreement just because you have a respected agreement that you've negotiated collectively with your union and your shop, whether it's being a carpenter or whether it's being an electrician? How do you fucking know what the NFL and how the NFL negotiated with the league on their HIPAA rules? You think it's across the board the same? You're wrong. This guy thinks if you're an electrician or if you're an NFL player, they're the same HIPAA rules. Everything is collectively bargained. You should know more of that, shouldn't you? So you think if a guy is an ice cream salesman, that he has the, hang on here. So you think if a guy's an ice cream salesman, that's the same guy has the same collective bargaining requirements that a company and a shop has, that the NFL has? Nice job, dude. Sills, why would I keep AJ around when I can get Chris Bell in the second round paying $30 million less with same skill set as AJ Brown? You wouldn't. Correct. It's all collectively bargained. One thing's the same. Union reps are paid off. That I agree with. So here, Eagles had to bring Goedert back. 20 million reasons. Sills, could you explain between Crosby's medical getting out and AJ's getting out? I don't remember his getting out. All I know is he said he had meniscus surgery. Dr. Chow even said what they said was it was more of a replacement. And what Crosby said himself that it was more of a replacement. I don't remember any medical information on the severity of it being released by the Raiders. You'll have to show me that. Or where the medicals from Baltimore were released. You'll have to show me that. I don't remember Baltimore saying anything on the medicals. All as I heard them say is he failed the physical. I never heard any of that. Skill set. Are you kidding me? Skill set doesn't make you A.J. Brown. The Titans learned that the hard way. Treylon Burks. Anybody? Yes. Skill set. I would say this to you, that they didn't know what they had in A.J. Brown. I thought that's why his trade value dropped. Trade value dropped because the Ravens said his trade value dropped because he the Ravens failed his physical. Hope you had a good weekend, Sills. Thoughts on big play Slay retiring? I don't think it's a Hall of Fame, but had an above-average career. I think Darius Slay was a really good football player. And I think he really played well. And I think he was really okay. And I think he's an absolutely great player. Hall of Fame player? He is not. I think it's semantics argument. You can break the bargaining agreement without breaking actually HIPAA laws. That I would agree with. The Ravens failing Crosby sends a note that the injury in their mind was bigger without even saying anything. Absolutely. We need a Reggie Wayne for the Marvin Harrison that Smitty is. Okay? Slay is not a Ring of Honor player. He is not a Ring of Honor. He is not. He's a really good football player. Ring of Honor? No. And so NFL isn't covered under HIPAA, and yet Adam Schefter was fined $4 million for it. Okay, guy. Really? ESPN had to pay $4 million on a settlement because they released information on Jason Pierre-Paul's hand. Good grief. And by the way, we have a union. What's up, Sills? I'm not sure what's going on with AJ. Oh, I am. They're doing everything in their power. Okay? Yes. The NFL Players Association was better under Gene Upshaw. Yes, he is. Bro helped Birds to 2 Super Bowls. Get the man his flowers. So you think a guy plays 4 years? How many years did he play? 5 years? You think he's a Ring of Honor player? The only other guy I can remember that's in the Ring of Honor that's got less than 5 years service that's in the Ring of Honor is Jerome Brown because Jerome died. You don't have any other players in there with 5 or less years, do you? Let's take a look at that. Here, let's go back here. I want to make sure I keep that. By the way, Angelo Cataldi will join us at 3:30. So let me see here. Ring of Honor. Is there anybody in the Ring of Honor less than 5 years? Is there? You got to be at least 8 with the Birds to get that honor. Seals, you were right on point Friday when they extended Goedert through the weekend. How he couldn't get a deal done with AJ, so he pulled the trigger on Goedert to save the $20 million. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Okay? Dude, the Goedert deal now makes it so that the Eagles can actually trade him because now they have more cap space. They could trade him before June 1, but they're going to wait until June 1 where it goes down to $14 million. And they're doing everything in their power. Ian Rappaport just came out and said that it most likely will happen around June 1st. He's not fucking here. We will be right. Sills, I take care of terminally ill people. No collective bargaining can override a government law. Okay? I'm not sure what that has to do with Crosby's deal and Crosby and his medicals being released. But okay. Hey, Sills, if AJ's in fact out the door, are there any free agent plans for the wide receiver? I think you're going in the draft, my friend. But I don't believe it's this year. I think you'll go next year in the draft. You may sign a guy or maybe make a trade for somebody. Okay? Hey, everybody, hit the ice cream button. Thank you, Wayne. I love that picture of you there with Jerome and with Randall Cunningham. Love that. His Eagle resume stacks up with Shady over the time period. Shady won 2 chips when he left. Shady was a bus driver. Excuse me. Shady was a bus rider on them Super Bowls, by the way. He was a bus rider. Yeah, Dan is correct. I think you draft one, but I think they do it this year. You think you do it this year? Okay. Can they trade AJ now as designated him as a post-June 1? Yes. Now they can because they've got the money on the cap. Yes. Okay? No, you wouldn't, jackass. No, you wouldn't. You have no idea what I'm capable of. I'm a pacifist now. The move with Dallas was a good move. It saves the cap room, and they got a tight end that they need. Absolutely true. And by the way, Hero, sit behind your keyboard and pretend you're somebody you're not. Who'd you fight? Your next door neighbor? JC Sills, he's telling you you're right about the HIPAA law. Comprehension is key. Being a dick is key for you too, Prince. Grab a Wes Chandler Charlie Joyner. Hey, man, I love Wes Chandler's my boy. Love Charlie Joyner too. They would still count as cap. That's right. It would go all the way until June 1. Right. The money would be now too. You're right. You're dead right. Yeah, you're dead right. Oh, you're going to do what? Laugh me to death? Everybody's a tough guy till they meet me. Most of the Eagle fans couldn't even knock out Mark Holmes. Better let Philly 500 in the fight. How you doing? There's my boy Prince. Prince, what'd you think of the first week of the Eagles, dude? Those guys were fabulous. Those guys, truly one of the greatest. And then you had to add Kellen Winslow, and you had to add who was the running back? Who was the running back they had in that time? What was that guy's name? From Cal. They had a really good running back. Oh my God. They had Winslow, they had Joyner, and they had Chandler. And they had that running back. God, it just slips my mind. No, not LaDainian Tomlinson. It's older. Chuck, what is it? Chuck Muncie. They had Chuck Muncie. It was Chuck Muncie. It was Kellen Winslow Sr. It was Joyner, and it was Jefferson. Truly great. Let's see here. Seals, do you think Goedert and Sweat are still on the table? I don't think Sweat is, but it seems that Goedert is. Hey, DFW. I think Howard Roseman has had a bad offseason so far. Still a lot to go. I think Howard Roseman, I think Howard Roseman is, I don't think it was a good week. Lost a lot of guys. Howard Roseman keeps letting defensive players walk and replacing them with Temu free agents. No wonder Fangio's looking to retire. Hey, DFW, here's what Eagle fans are saying to you. Ready? If we sign Jordan Davis to an extension, then we turn around and we sign Jalen Carter to an extension, right? And they lose 6 players. That's the price of doing business. So you want to sign 2 players and lose, since the Super Bowl, half of the defense is gone now. Vic said Eagles are the farm system for 31 other teams. How you doing? Howard Roseman is the GOAT. If he trades AJ to Ohio State for Smith, that kid, Jeremiah Smith, is going to be a superstar. He is a superstar. Half of that defense is now officially gone from the Super Bowl season. And you got a lot of unknowns and a lot of young ball players. Maybe Goedert move was to deal with Nolan's $15 million in May. AJ could very well be an Eagle for one more season, at least the trading deadline. Like you said, though, David, you can still trade him now, post June 1, and the trading deadline. And you can trade him all the way up until the trade deadline. So if he starts acting like an asshole, which I'm assuming he will, you think he's going to get out of the gate acting well when that offense is bumping around all the way in the first month of the season because they're installing new things? Okay. Like I said, I don't believe it's going to work, but we'll see. Goedert made this AJ trade more realistic. Correct, Kim. That's what the diehard, green-eyed Eagle fans are not getting. The Goedert move is without a doubt the springboard for AJ being gone. Okay? All I could say is there's been many recent times where people said how we're going to pay these players that they're going to do. This has got nothing to do with that. This is a player wants out. And I believe the Eagles are to a point where they don't want to give a shit about this any longer. They listen, and I don't blame them. You know what? You may not be a better football team, talent-wise, but you may be a better football team collectively without Brown. And not having to worry about wiping some guy's chin every 5 seconds to make sure the guy's happy. I'm fucking tired of that. Aren't you? You mean to tell me I got to sit here and placate to that guy and make him feel great about his life? How far do I have to go inside that locker room? And how far are the Eagles going to make players go just to make those people feel better about their lives? Give me a fucking break. Enough is enough. It gets to a point where you're finished. Last week, he talked about the quarterbacks he wanted to play with, and he's talking through agents now. Xander points out the guy makes the money. He's one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL statistically, touchdowns and yards. What is it? He doesn't play with the quarterback anymore. Why are you dancing around it? It's either two things. You don't want to play with Nick, or you don't want to play with Hurts. Xander answered, Xander, will you do me a favor? I like what he said to John McMullen today because he was talking to Jeff Kerr about this stuff. 5,000 yards in the last 4 years. Guy makes $32 million. Touchdowns, he's in the top 5, right? All of that, correct? What's his problem? He doesn't like the quarterback. What else is it? You dance around the main issue. He wants to play with a better quarterback. No. He wants to play with a quarterback that throws the ball more. How about this? We'll take out the better. And I'll take out the better quarterback because I really don't think that even is relevant. He just wants to play with a quarterback that throws the ball more. That's it. You're answering your own questions. You're answering your own questions. AJ, you think it's better on the other side? Yeah. I'm going to have a quarterback that's going to throw me the football. Why do you think Mike Evans went to San Francisco? Because Kyle Shanahan's going to get Mike Evans the ball. Says, excuse my German, why do we keep hiring these Shizakovs on offense, but keep ripping apart the defense? God forbid you touch the offense. I love that you know Shizakov. Way to go, bro. That's where all the money is. As of right now, on March 16th, your money's over on the other side. Hey, Sills, Slay retired. You think he's a Hall of Famer? Borderline. Great player, but no. Sills, I totally agree. AJ needs to go. We won't be better without him, but I think there's a chance how he keeps him one more year. Man, I don't think so. I don't see it. By the way, Angelo Cataldi will be with us. That'll be at 1:30. Actually, that's going to be at 3:30. My bad. 3:30. Angelo Cataldi at 3:30. Sills, AJ got his ring now. He wants to see what kind of numbers he can get with a top 5 passer. Correct. Okay? Definitely every time I didn't bring a rod, I thought about it, regretting it. And assuming you're doing let's see here. Gary Cobb's birthday today. So Gary Cobb celebrating his birthday. Sills, AJ has a problem with AJ. It's a head case. Yeah. There's no reasoning with it. Correct. Sills, I don't know why AJ wants to play with the Chargers. Harbaugh's offense is built around the run game. They want to move that direction, but had offensive line injuries. I believe that's true, but Herbert's going to get the ball to him. They still want to throw the ball. But you're right in the run game. Big Sills, I'm just sick of this BS. He's a professional, but acts like a child. I get it. And you're right. That's why it's time to, hey, listen, Racing, it's time. It's time. Xander Krause told you all those numbers, right? What's the fucking problem? You know what the problem is? It's what somebody said 2 minutes ago. It's AJ. You're never going to please that guy. So if you're never going to please him, there's nothing that offense in this city is going to do for him to change his opinion. Even if you told him, he's not buying it. He doesn't want to play with that quarterback. It's not personal either. I think he really likes Jalen. He doesn't like Jalen, the quarterback. Two things can be true. He doesn't like Jalen, the quarterback, in the way he sees the game and how he throws the ball. This is all this comes down to. Because Xander's right. Top 5 in every category, including paychecks. Bro, you got just as good a numbers as Justin Jefferson, and you're not happy? Nothing you can do. This is a foregone conclusion. Guys like that don't grow up. You think T.O. grew up? T.O. still hasn't grown up. Antonio Brown still hasn't grown up. What do you mean grow up? When guys have infant minds like that, they never grow up. That's why it's always bad endings. This is never going to change. Here, I heard Xander go like this. Top 5 in passing, receiving yards, touchdowns, paycheck. What's the problem? It's the quarterback. Nothing else. It can't be them trying to get the ball to him because they do. It can't be because he doesn't have a lot of touchdowns because he does. It can't be because he's bitching about being paid. He is. What is it? It's the fucking quarterback. You don't want to say it. And by the way, whether you believe it or not, that the quarterback's the problem, it's not important. You just have to understand that's what he thinks. And you don't want to wrap your head around it. He thinks the quarterback's not good enough. Whether you believe he's full of shit or not, That's not the important part of this. The important part of this is he doesn't believe it. Okay? Think about it. You see this dummy here? Fake news? Okay. Well, then why does he hate it here? I heard John McMullen say it. John McMullen's around the organization with all those reporters. The Eagles are doing everything they can to move him. That's not my interpretation. Okay, well, here's my interpretation. So his agent is talking about what quarterbacks he wants to play with. His agent told Ian Rappaport, Albert Breer, he wants to go to a place with a good quarterback, and he named the quarterbacks. It's got nothing to do with fucking scheme. The scheme he was in gave him 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns and kept him in the top 5. Had nothing to do with scheme. They got him his numbers. Don't you hear, Xander? They got him his numbers. They got him his paycheck. That's so dumb. You're just assuming another stupid coordinator thing. It's ridiculous. You refuse to believe it, that the guy doesn't want to play with Hurts. And it's got everything to do with that. AJ never said he wants out. No, he just acts like it, right? Okay. Well, get this, guys. I'm not arguing with people that don't see what's going on here. Okay? I think it's less to do with the quarterback and more to do with the offensive game plan. Oh, God. They are never going to hire a passing coordinator as long as Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of this football team, because Nick doesn't see him as that kind of player. He sees him more as a dual threat guy. Name me one passing coordinator that they've ever hired here that stuck to his guns as being a passing attack outside of Brian Johnson. Even Kellen Moore, who's a passing coordinator, turned into a run coordinating offensive coordinator. Can you name me one guy outside of Brian Johnson that threw the ball that would make AJ happy? Who? Kellen Moore had 2 number 1 ranked offenses in Dallas. And what did he do when he got here? He turned the team into a running attack. Shane Steichenhart was a dual threat. It's the only time that they utilized his abilities was in 22. And do me a favor, guys. Stop bringing 22 up. I told you then, and I'll tell you today. That's the best you'll ever see of Hurts ever again. That's 4 years ago. It's 4 years ago. I mean, 4 years ago now. You keep bringing that up. You're going on year 4. Here, how about this? If Jalen Hurts throws for $4,000, they miss the playoffs, then what? The offense is moving in a direction where they're getting better. Hey, dude, let me ask you something. That's a great question, though, Southern. It's a great question. If the offense, you see improvement in the offense, and let's just say they go 9-8 and miss the playoffs, but you see them moving in the right direction, even without A.J. Brown, and the quarterback got better, doesn't that push the window open more? Mahomes missed the playoffs. Hurts is going to miss the playoffs one time. He's not going to make the playoffs every year of his career. That's not going to happen. That's right. Hurts shows improvement. I'll take a step back. Yeah, because Twiz, you know what you get the next year? You know what you get the next year? You get all those draft picks, you get a higher pick in 27, and you can bring in new offensive firepower for the kid. and then he would have sold you. I'll tell you what, too, Twiz. If he shows improvement, I would extend him. I would extend him. Sills, I thought Goedert wasn't coming back. Seems not everybody knows what they're talking about. I completely didn't believe he was coming back. But then the Eagles came to their senses when they couldn't get the A.J. deal done. And when they couldn't get the A.J. deal done, they didn't want $20 million on their cap. They brought him back. You really think they wanted to bring Goedert back? They brought Goedert back because why? $20 million. Seals, make it make sense. A.J. Brown has gotten the numbers similar to Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, and he still has an issue. It speaks more that he can't stand the quarterback taking his limelight. I think it's more about, yeah, okay. Hey, remember something, Abe. If you win the Super Bowl and you have, how about this? If you win the Super Bowl and you have 750 yards receiving and you're A.J. Brown. Here, let's do this, Abe. Abe, by the way, calls my Tampa show every now and then. Thank you. By the way, hit the like button. Let me ask you this, Abe. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year and A.J. Brown has 68 catches for 790 yards and 8 touchdowns, you think he's happy? You think he's happy? Do you think he's happy? You think he causes a shitstorm? You think he's a ticking time bomb right now on the chemistry of your locker room? Ask yourself this question too. Okay. How many people in here believe that Nick Sirianni? How many people in here believe that Nick Sirianni, this season here, is going to be a make or break year for Nick? How many people believe that this coming season, Nick Sirianni, do you believe that this is going to be a make or break year for him? Yes. So if Nick misses the playoffs and they don't make the playoffs, well, that's why they call it Sports Talk, Fish Maniac. So wait a minute. If they miss the playoffs, you don't think Nick Sirianni's not fired? Could it be the fact that AJ thinks Hurts isn't a good quarterback? So all the praise Hurts gets rubs him the wrong way? Well, hey, when a crappy coworker gets glazed by bosses, is that kind of the same issue here? A little bit. So let me ask you this one then. Let me go one step further. I like it, Jace. Thank you. Let me ask you this one. If Nick Sirianni doesn't make the playoffs, do you think they fire him? Yes or no? Do the Eagles fire Nick Sirianni if he doesn't make? Love you too, bro. David doesn't think. Yes. Gone. Who knows? Consistent. He's gone. No. It would be the first time since missing the playoffs. So you think if that guy, after getting blown out by San Francisco, and they missed the playoffs, they're going to keep him when even during the Super Bowl year, they were thinking of firing him. Okay. So let's add this component now to this. I think some of you are delusional. Okay? Yeah. You didn't think you'd get beat by a JV Niner team, too, but you did. So, why in the world would Nick Sirianni take a gamble and bring A.J. Brown back to blow his locker room up and his team when he's going to need everybody's focus and everybody running in the same direction for them to make the playoffs and to be a good football team moving forward? Why would he have a subversive on the team that doesn't want to be here? Why would he do that? Why would Nick gamble? And why would Howie gamble in having a guy like that back that doesn't want to be here? There is no way in hell that guy's coming back. Sills, even if Sirianni has a good year, there's a possibility Laurie promotes Mannion. So there's a new puppet and stability. I'll tell you what, that's a great. Hey, Trev, that's a great topic. How about this, guys? If Sean Mannion and AJ and Jalen Hurts have a 4,200-yard passing year, he throws for 34 touchdowns. They go 9-8, and they miss the playoffs. You think the owner is going to look at it, go, I'm not letting Sean Mannion out of here. He got the best out of Jalen Hurts of any coordinator that's been here since Shane Steichen. What if this Mannion kid turns out to be the next Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan? I mean, what happens? You're going to let him walk away for a third time? They filled some holes. It should be a playoff team if AJ stays. Where did you fill your hole at safety and that edge? I do like, and I said it today, you got Woolen from Seattle. My question is going to be his brains. Other than that, the Woolen sign is the only thing you did. Getting Goedert back, he was in-house. Re-signing Jordan or giving him an extension. I'm talking about what did you do to make yourself better? Like, who'd you add? You lost 3 starters. You still lost 3 starters. Because you could have brought back Adoree Jackson, but you still have 3 starters out. You still got to replace Blankenship. You got to replace Dean. And you got to replace your edges. You haven't addressed it. And the kid you signed from Atlanta is not the guy. I'm sure you said the same. I was right last year. I was right. You didn't replace those players. If we get a decent compensation for AJ, we're in the playoffs. That won't happen until next year, the compensation. Oh, compensation, not the compensation picks. You're in the playoffs? Draft choices aren't going to help you this year. Lost 3 starters last year and was fine. Yeah, you got blown out in the fucking playoffs by a JV football team. What if AJ doesn't like the head coach? Wasn't it obvious after the Buffalo win and the game against the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs? So it's only signing Howie. Only signing Howie's doing is 1-year deals other than Davis. Looks like signing young cornerstones and go through a rebuild in the next 2 years on the fly. By the way, DFW, I think that keeps their window open. But here's the difference over the last 3 years. Chicago's going to continue to get better. I think the Rams getting McDuffie, that helps them immensely. I think Seattle's going to take a small step back, at least at the beginning of the season, because of Clint Kubiak. They lost Kenneth Walker. I think Minnesota, that's going to be interesting to see what they do with Kyler Murray. If that coach can get the most out of him. I think the Giants have made too many moves. I would think the Giants are going to be good in the next 2 years. Let's see what Washington does with Jaden Daniels. That NFC West is going to be something to keep an eye on. I think the North is going to have a lot of good teams. I think the Lions are going to rebound. I think the Packers are going to be better. I just think Seattle, coordinator, players, they lost a lot of dudes, man. I think Dallas will be better. Okay. Last year, the Liars month or so, they were 500. That's right. After September, they were 7-7. They were 7-7. I agree. Stills, Skip, Ship. A. Jackson and my boy Dean were not all pros. The draft is coming too. Okay. Why so harsh on the why so harsh on regular player losses? My friend, I don't know what the draft is going to help you with. I thought the draft helped you marginally last year. Year before that, it was sensational. But the year before that, when you went in 2022 or 23, the draft didn't help you. Did it? By the end of the year, your defense was giving up 145 yards a game rushing. You were 28th in defense. To sit there and say the draft is going to help you and immediate impact is insane. And by the way, I'm never one of these guys that does this on a Monday. I don't give grades like that. I do give grades on filling needs. But still, so you think the Eagles will have a good draft? I don't know. You think they'll have a bad draft? I don't know. How could you tell? Because the guy plays at Wisconsin and you watched him in college? You think that's going to translate? You got to wait and see, dude. You got to wait and see. Like, wait a minute. I got this written down here. You think you're going to find an impact edge at 23 this year? Do you? You guys think you're finding an edge? Yeah, and they benched Campbell. Nick will get exposed with the OC Stunads they hired. Nick is gone. Correct. The draft is the biggest lottery gamble of all time. You have no idea. Just like Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. Okay? I'd go O-line. That's a need. Now, I'll tell you what I won't do. I'm not going to pick the third best OT unless he's got a higher valuation in what I'm doing at 23. On the other hand, I might trade down because I got more needs and I need more depth. Sales, do you think it's more likely or less likely Goedert and Sweat are still on the table? Goddard deal. I don't believe you'll see Josh Sweat. There's a ton of money that would hit the Cardinals salary cap. Okay. Campbell was sat for a more seasoned player who got available. Totally different when saying he was benched. I don't care how you want to make yourself feel. They sat his ass because Nakobe Dean was a better ball player. You want to make yourself feel better about yourself? Have at it. I don't give a shit if a guy's a 14-year pro or a 2-minute pro. If a coach puts someone in and he's better and you want to make yourself feel better about yourself, they sat his ass. I didn't have a problem with him either. I thought Campbell was playing fine. But Vic thought the better player was Nakobe. And if you want to feel better about yourself, have at it. So what's the actual dollars in Goddard's deal? Yeah, those incentive things I wouldn't give a shit about. By the way, anything on a signing bonus? Did anybody see a signing bonus? What the signing bonus money was? Anybody? Did anybody see anything on a signing bonus? What the guaranteed money was? 4 or 5? There's your base. I mean, there's your salary. That 4 million is guaranteed. Okay. There was zero market for this guy. The Eagles had to bring him back because the amount on the cap would have been 20 million bucks. Now they made it even easier to move AJ Brown. This was all for AJ and moving AJ Brown. Yeah, up to 7. This guy signed for 4.5 million bucks guaranteed on a 1-year deal. He took a $5.5 million pay cut. Yeah. I mean, right? Let's see here. In March of 22, tight end Zach Ertz signed a 3-year, $31.65 million extension with the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, 10 mil, right? You said he was, I thought he was. But again, if they had moved him, it was 20 million. And the Eagles thought better to bring him back, especially at 4.5 million, with incentives up to 7. Bro, they had to bring him back. And now you make it easier for this is all about AJ. Just how he made the mistake of letting Ertz go. I truly believe he wanted to keep Goedert, but for the right price. Okay? You were definitely wrong about Goedert being gone. I thought Goedert would be gone because I thought there'd be a market, but nobody wanted him. 5 other tight ends signed. Nobody wanted him. And the only people that had to do it were the Eagles because it'd be a $20 million hit. 4.5 million bucks. Nobody wanted him. I mean, nobody wanted to sign Dallas Goedert for 4.5 million with incentives. How come? You mean to tell me there wasn't one team that would take the guy at 4.5 million? It was better for the Eagles to sign the guy, or it'd be a $20 million hit. Okay. Wanted to stay a bird at 4.5 million and the $20 million cap hit? Bet your ass. Still Goedert, he is just a different dude. Reports were he told Howie he would wait to see what Howie would do with the AJ deal. Goedert just wanted to stay home. This had everything to do with AJ Brown. Dude, they are actively trying to move him. They are working diligently, actually, in trying to work and move him. They are doing everything they can to move AJ Brown. I know some of you don't want to hear it, but it's a fact. AJ Brown is being moved. And it's now even more a fact that he's going to be moved. I think he wanted a multi-year deal. Well, wait a minute, Denny. You say he wanted a multi-year deal? Nobody wanted him. Let's see here. Dan, what's your take on the rumors of Josh Sweat wanting to go to the Eagles or Packers via trade? I have not heard that yet. And Howard Balzer covers the team, and he has not heard that yet either. Is Goedert market a product of a player or the agent? I think it's a product of the player. I don't give a shit who his agent. Lamar Jackson has his mom cutting deals. Player's good. Somebody will do business with whomever. They would do business with a chipmunk if they could. His agent. Nobody wanted him. And the only person that needed him were the Eagles at because of the $20 million hit. Seals, wherever AJ ends up, I hope he gets his stats. But if the team sticks, if the team stinks, I don't want to see him without a smile on his face all the time because he could have gotten what he wanted. Absolutely. This is a great question. Here, Seals, what's the AJ trade going to look like in your eyes? Me personally, because it's going to be post June, okay, and it's going to be post June 1, I would say this. I would listen. I think the Birds 1-3. The Patriots want to do a 2-3. I know this for a fact. Okay. The Pats are sitting at 2-3. If you look at what the Patriots did, and they got DJ Moore, that's not enough. That's just not enough. AJ Brown and DJ Moore. Now that looks good, especially with their tight end. Their tight end ain't bad. I saw him when he played. His best years were in, I think, with the Chargers, but him, DJ Moore, and AJ Brown for Drake May. Oh, wait, DJ Moore went to the Bills. My bad. Dobbs. Thank you. Thank you, soccer. I just realized that. Yeah. Moore went to the Bills. Dobbs went to the Patriots. Dobbs ain't moving the needle. Thank you. Yes. That guy's not moving. Dobbs isn't moving anybody. AJ Brown, he moves the needle. With the Eagles now $40 million in cap space after Goedert signing, what's the next best move for us moving forward with getting better in the future, Sells? How about this, too? It's a great question. I love this question. And I think you tell me if you agree. If I'm sitting at 23, there's probably 15 guys in this draft, 13 guys in this draft, okay, that are legitimate first rounders. If I don't see the guy that I like at number 23, I'm moving down and I'm parlaying more picks. I need depth in O-line. I need depth in D-line. I need a safety. I need a better tight end. I need some depth at corner. Let me ask you this. So are they bringing Adoree Jackson back? Has that been determined yet? What are you doing if one of your corners goes down? I mean, you don't have an Isaiah Rodgers there. Who's your corner if Woolen or Q go down? And you need an edge. Okay? Right? The draft? Gigantic crapshoot, but okay. Mac and cheese. Ringo's a good special teams guy. Unfortunately, that's all he is. Why would they take 5 days to sign for nothing? Rasputin, because it had everything to do with trying to move A.J. Brown, and they couldn't get the deal done. They couldn't get it done. And I think it had everything to do with New England not budging off that 2 and making it a 1. There is no doubt. Here, tell you what I'm going to do. So let me text the Patriots. Let me text the Patriots. I just asked my friend with the Patriots if there's still a ton of conversation going on with AJ. So let's see what he says. Sills, Sills, J Max said the Eagles' philosophy of backloading years in contracts is starting to become a problem. Do you agree? I do. I do. It's starting to limit them on some of the moves they can make. Slay just retired. Great player, absolutely fabulous. So, are we watching Rams, Pat's third round picks since the player could be who the Eagles told them to pick? Um, I don't believe it's going to be on draft day. I just don't. I think it's going to be post June 1. So, hey, who's that guy that asked me that really good question about what you would do with the picks? Your next 2 years, you can load up the team. You're going to get compensation picks next year for Phillips. Yeah, here we are. Martin, you're going to get compensation picks. By the way, guys, thank you very much for the super chats. You're going to get compensation picks next year for Phillips, maybe Dean. Maybe Blankenship. Says if we get the Rams, if we give the Rams AJ for the 13th pick and Devontae Adams, I saw that, Martin, that the Rams are trying to shop Devontae Adams and bringing and sending Adams to. I think Adams makes 28.7, so he's not cheap either. We are trading, so you're going to be so okay. Well, we'll see. I'll tell you what, we'll find out. I don't believe there's a chance in hell he's back. Eagles, the Eagle fans have too emotionally moved on Via Slay. On CJ, listen, I don't really give a shit about the name on the back of the jersey unless he's a tenured guy like a Jason Kelsey or a Fletcher Cox. I don't give a shit about any of these guys. If it makes the team better, do it. That's how they look at the players. They don't look any other way. You think they get emotionally attached when they're moving a guy out the door? What do? They tell you that wow, we really love this guy. We really didn't want. Get this. How about this one here? Okay, think about it. We really loved the Kobe. We really loved him. He was really a great player. They still let him go. So my ears, it's bullshit. Okay, it's bullshit. We really loved the Kobe. We really loved him. We didn't want to pay him. Correct. You don't think the Kobe would have stayed if they would have gave him $12 million a year? Of course he would have stayed. Goedert's injury history also made it may have hurt him. Oh, it did. $4.5 million is what he's guaranteed. I mean, dude, this guy in the last 2 years has taken, let me see, 4.5. And now he's down to what? And this guy in the last, get this guy in the last 2 years has taken a $10 million pay cut. Dallas Goedert has taken a $10 million pay cut in 2 years to come play for the Eagles and stay with the Eagles. Woo! It's hilarious that moving AJ will make you so happy. I don't give a shit either way. You think it would destroy the Eagles? Actually, I think they'd be a better football team chemistry-wise. Be careful what you're begging for. It might not turn out in your favor in your favor. Hey, Marsh, that's not what I'm saying. I don't give a shit if he's here or not. It's time to build the defense Offense had its chance. Now it's time to have an elite defense all around. Hey, Martin, you had an elite defense 2 years ago. More picks, more sacks, less production. Rasputin. In 2022, you had 70 sacks. In 2024, you probably had half that number, and you won the Super Bowl. Sacks at times could be overrated. I don't understand if a trade couldn't happen until June for AJ. Why does that hold up the Goedert deal? They had to get the $20 million to make sure that if they make the AJ deal, the AJ Brown deal, that they don't have money and they have all the cap room. Remember, they still got to sign their draft picks. You need about $23 million to sign in your draft picks. By the way, Angelo Cataldi's going to join us. And boy, all that shit going on at WIP and Angelo and Howard Eskin. Those guys were talking about the state. Shit, they've been talking about the state of WIP for the last 3 years here and how shitty it is. And then you have John. Who's John fucking Marks? Honest to God, I never heard of the guy's name until I got here to Philly. John Marks? Okay. Yeah, okay. All those dudes that are on the air now, I like Hugh. I don't think that guy that's with him is that bad. But the rest of them, I don't know. But wouldn't you want the room regardless of AJ? I would. He took less sacks because he left a clean pocket for 2 seconds and ran out of bounds or threw it away instead of getting past the first read. He did the midday with Reese and left for 97.5. Yeah, 97.5. The station that nobody knows anything about. That's probably going to be like smooth jazz in a year. Okay? Sills watch a lot of WIP. Yeah, because you know why? That's where the Eagles and the Philly guys talk. Not for the host. Dude, that's the flagship station for the Phillies and the Eagles. That's where the news is going to go because those teams, they feed those hosts. You ever seen a player drafted and then moved post June 1? No, I have not seen that. 97.5, we have Mike Pissanelli. Oh, wait. We fired him too. Well, what is his name? If Vic Fangio said that that the Eagles are the training ground for the NFL 31 teams, Jacob's the training ground for all the talk show hosts in Philadelphia. Barrett Brooks, name it. Go ahead, name them all. Bill Cunnilingus, little bit. Hugh is a mascot. Man, I don't know about that. I like Hugh. I'm good with Hugh. I'm all right with that. I think he's got some good takes. I think he's a pretty good personality too. I do. So any move with AJ and the Rams would require Fisk ends up in Kelly Green. Fisk makes that interior defensive line unit scary. Man, would he ever? I like him too. I think he's a heck of a player. Slade trade will go down as one of the great Eagle trades of all time. Traded him for a 3 and a 5, and return was 3 Pro Bowls, 2 Super Bowls, and a Super Bowl championship, and mentored Q and Cooper DeJean. I think that's pretty damn on. And I would agree with that completely. Hey, by the way, Okay, here's the latest. I would never. Hold on. Okay, we're gonna get the latest on AJ Brown and the Patriots. Now, there's a couple dudes in that building. There's like 3 other guys that we know too. So regardless of AJ's numbers, the passing attack is at the bottom of the league. I don't think it's targets necessarily. I think it's the quarterback. Because Anthony Gargago says that the AJ deal isn't happening. Yeah, okay. Anthony Gargano, another guy. Rossini waiting patiently as well. I think she's really plugged in. I really do. Okay? I do. Yeah, the Eagles are dumb to have Whippus ass their flag station nowadays. Actually, I think it's brilliant because they could have the Pied Pipers saying whatever they want. Bob Lang is basically the program director of the entire station now. You know, the program director that they got from Phoenix, who thinks he knows Philly, he's not the real program director. The real program director on WIP is Bob Lang. The pick obtained for Carson Wentz ultimately turned into AJ. Got to be up there on the great trades. Absolutely. We're believing anything Rossini says now. Bro, I'm going to give you guys a little insight one more time. Do you understand that Ian Rappaport, Diana Rossini, Albert Breer, all these guys are text on group messages by the agents and sometimes by the general managers? That it's a group text? Did you not know that? Do you know that when John McMullen gets notified on something, do you know it's a group text to the reporters that cover the team? And then there's a national group with the Jay Glazers that Bob Lang wants to feed out some information to. Everything is on like a group text nowadays. Like, I'm not saying John, but I'm saying some of the people, they don't do their work anymore because the agents are sending the information. They're not going knee deep in anything. They're being fed this. Listen, you don't like hearing the truth. I think Diana Rossini is absolutely spectacular. So I love how the local guys with contacts are never used when it comes to breaking news. Bob Lang uses the national guys. That's right, because he wants the national perception to bleed down to the local perception. You don't let it start locally and then go nationally. You start nationally for locally. You understand? It's a procedure. It's a strategy. You got guys on Get Up, on the ESPN, or on Fox Sports, FS1. It bleeds down. The local guys pick it up, and then Bob Lang will throw some crumbs out at them. That's how it's working. These guys are all on group. Armando Salguero told me how it worked. Armando Salguero's on a group text from agents and from general managers. That's how they get their information. That's why you see all these numbers out. These deals haven't even been ratified yet by the collective bargaining agreement and by the NFL Players Association. I mean, they haven't even been like talked about They're not even on the desk yet when it comes to this. So, I mean, Angelo Cataldi is going to be with us. They get info in those group texts from agents, but how much of that is, yeah, to influence outcomes of, yes, it totally does. Totally does. Like, here, I'll give you an instance. So Trey Hendrickson, through his agent, wanted to play in Tampa. And Adam Schefter went out and basically said it'd be a great fit in Tampa for Trey Hendrickson. Well, the Bucks heard that, and the Bucks got involved. Well, the Bucks didn't want to go and do 3 years. They did 2 years or 4 years. They didn't want to do 4 years. They did 2 years, and they didn't want to pay the money up front. And that's how the Bucks got knocked out of that deal, because the money started getting too rich after the whole thing was sabotaged with Crosby. Once the Crosby deal went sideways, Hendrickson's value went up. Do you understand what these media guys and the agents did to Max Crosby and to Trey Hendrickson? You elevated Trey Hendrickson's value, and the Eagles got in late on it. They got in too late. And Crosby's value dropped because he failed the physical. Hendrickson's value went up. That's why you started seeing Colts, Eagles, Bills, Ravens, Buccaneers. All these teams started diving in on it because they started getting nervous and freaked out over the physical and what Baltimore did with Crosby. Seals, what's the deal with the Bucks and Baker's contract? Who gets the extension first, Hurts or Mayfield? Mayfield, in my opinion, I think they're going to kick the can down the road, and I think they're going to wait until next offseason to try to get it done before March 14th of 27. I mean, I think they're going to let him play out that final year of the $30 million deal. Angelo Cataldi is going to join us in a couple minutes here. By the way, this thing here has been one of the most absolutely talked about things going on. So I want to tell you guys a little bit before we get Angelo up here. So Armando Salguero, who's a Hall of Fame voter and works for Outkick, told me something about some of these reporters that you see and how guys like at WIP or other stations get the information. Do you know that the majority of the people nowadays, and not Angelo's time, which was just what, 3-4 years ago? Do you know these guys are on group texts now? Do you know that the agents, like Nicole Lynn, Jalen Hurts' agent, she has a group text of 5-6 people she sends out contract information to. These guys aren't doing their work anymore. They're being fed this stuff. So when you're being fed stuff like when WIP gets a noise, then they get some information. You know what Bob Lang does? Remember, the information and the perception he wants is he wants it to go nationally first, and then he'll throw some of the crumbs out to the local guys. And then the local guys become the Pied Piper. And then it looks like it's the same noise. You ever tune on CNN or you ever tune on Fox? It's the same talking points. Where do you get the same talking points from? The PR guys at these teams. By the way, it's not just an Eagle thing. It's today's society because of accessibility. Everyone wants a key fob. Angelo Cataldi never gave a shit about a key fob. Do you understand? People fight for key fobs today, not information, because key fobs is accessibility. That's where we are in today's broadcasting. So Angelo has been talking this for over a year now about the current status of broadcasting and journalism in Philadelphia. You go to angelocataldi.com. You can read his blog. He talks about it all the time.